We have a welterweight matchup between Alex Oliveira going up against Niko Price. In this matchup, Alex Oliveira is 22-10-1, is the plus 115 underdog, whereas Niko Price is 14-5 and is the minus 135 favorite. Alex Oliveira is coming in. He has a karate stance and is laying on his feet. He keeps his hands low and he is right hand heavy. He uses the counter two and the slide hand. He likes to keep his opponents at distance. He tends to square his stance whenever he overextends at times. He gets underhooks easily and has good takedown defense when he is not tired. He needs to improve transitions on the ground. He slows down usually after round two and has low volume on the feet. Will throw a good bit of leg kicks from distance. And he has been on a so-so streak of lately. Then you got Niko Price, who likes to stalk his opponents and throw a lot of variety. He throws a nice shot to the body and looks for low calf kicks from distance. He will throw knees to the body and elbows to the face. He will also throw the 1-2 at a slower pace and tends to telegraph his hooks. He hangs out in range too long where he gets caught. He tends to try to muscle down for takedowns and has loose top control. He gives up his back to get up and has poor defense from the bottom on the mat. He has athleticism and raw power. He has a good volume but tends to gas in fights, and he needs to improve his striking defense. Jim, what do you think of this fight, and who do you have winning?
This is another sleeper for that fight of the night honors right here, man, because these two guys throw hands a lot. Niko Price throws more. And just the unusual style of Niko Price, we've seen it several times before. The Randy Brown fight, the James Vick fight. He is just one shot away from winning almost every fight. Got that draw with Cowboy 2 fights ago, lost his last fight. Both these guys are extremely durable. Oliveira hasn't won a fight yet, but you could argue that some of those were closer. Some of those decision ones in his last 5 were a little closer than usual. But I'm actually going with Niko Price here because I just think like the unusual style, the pace that he uses, he throws so much, but again, is very hittable, like you said. He hangs out in the pocket. He hangs out in range. And Oliveira, who throws significantly less than Niko statistically, has raw power. He does have the power to clip Niko, knock him out, and put it on the ground. Oliveira also has the threat of takedowns. We haven't really seen it quite often in a lot of his fights, but he does have that threat, which would work in his advantage because of Niko's lackluster takedown defense. But I think Niko's going to get this. I think this is going to end in the second round, TKO by Niko Price.
I think one big thing with this matchup is the fact that Niko Price puts out high volume in his fights. If you look at his last fight and that strange draw between him and Don Cerrone, which I think Niko won, he put out over 300 strikes in 3 rounds and connected on 175 of those strikes. That is a lot for a 3-round fight. He does that all the time in his fights. He usually puts out so much every round. And against a guy like Oliveira, there's some stat that they put out there that he puts out 4 strikes to every 1 strike of Oliveira on the stat chain that they came up with. So I think he's going to get that early and often, keep the movement, and he's just going to rack up the volume. And he can go all 3 rounds and not really get too tired, whereas Alex Oliveira will usually get tired around that round and a half to 2-round mark, and it just drops down a lot. And I don't think he's a threat to knock out Price, which has been a threat to Price in all his fights. And that's why I got Niko Price for my 3rd-round knockout. I think he's going to rack up the damage, rack up the volume, get into round 3. He's going to be fresh still, and then you're going to have Oliveira, who's tired. He's going to make a mistake in the pocket because that's where Price likes to go, and I think that's where Price finishes him up, beats him in the 3rd round, and puts him down on the ground, and then finishes him with hammer fist.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bloody fight, number one. We know that. The big thing for Niko Price, to go back to your statement about the Cowboy fight, he needs to watch his fingers. I think that's what really screwed him in that fight, because I think he got stopped twice for eye pokes. I think he lost the point. I believe Herb Dean was calling that one,
Yeah.
and he took a point away from him. So yeah, he could absolutely have won that fight, but the groin kicks, the eye pokes, you have to really watch that. We're seeing a lot of that lately on these cards, and it can be the deciding factor of a fight. These refs have a very quick trigger when it comes to that stuff. So I'm still going to ride with Niko. He trains in Cape Coral. I visit Cape Coral a couple times every year to visit my in-laws, and there's literally nothing to do down there. So I feel like he's training 100% of his time. So I'm riding with him
And I think this is going to be a standing fight the whole time.
for sure.
I don't think this goes to the ground that much. These are two guys who likes to fight on the feet. I think the reason that Oliveira uses that karate stance is because he throws a lot of kicks,
Yeah.
and he needs to use the distance because he's very hittable. But I just think that his distance gets basically useless because Niko Price would just get in there very quickly, he'll compromise all there, and then just like I said, third round knockout.
Yep. I'm around before you, so we're on the same page.
Yep.